There are so many different quilting tools out there. If you're a new quilter, it can be overwhelming and expensive to get them all at once.
But you don't have to. Today, we're sharing our top 5 tools that will help you get started in quilting without breaking the bank. Hi, it's Fran Morgan.
And Hannah with Fabric Café.
If you are a new quilter, getting all of the tools and supplies can be a lot.
Yes. So, Fran and I got together and thought about it. If we were stuck on a desert island and could only bring 5 tools, what would they be?
It was challenging to limit it to just 5. I have so many tools that make my life easier.
Oh yeah. But we really wanted to focus on what tools we use every time we make a quilt. As long as we have these, we can piece a quilt.
Now, a little disclaimer. We are not including a sewing machine on that list, so we took it out of the equation. We are assuming that we're deserted on an island full of sewing machines.
So, with sewing machine aside, here is our list of the best tools that will help you get started and get those quilts done. Plus, at the end, we have a little bonus. Number 1, rotary cutter. This is a must-have for quilting. You're going to be able to get nice, clean cuts. I think it's even more important than a good pair of scissors.
I have to agree with you on that one. I would give up my scissors before I gave up my rotary cutter.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. We use an Olfa ergonomic rotary cutter. You just have to push the handle and you're starting your cut. And it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So it's very simple. You just hold it and there you go. The blade is exposed. It does have a safety mechanism, which is very important. This little red button, whenever it is pushed to this side, it is locked and you're not going to be able to use the rotary cutter. But very simple to do. Just use my thumb, push it to the other side, and then the blade can be exposed for using, which is great. It's super, super easy to do on the fly, so to speak.
Yeah, it's I keep mine locked all the time until I'm ready for a cut, and then I have everything lined up. Click. Yes. Now, there are other cutters, like this one that has 2 little sliders that you can pull down to reveal the blade. But I find these very difficult to work with because there's 2 different sliders and I always end up just getting like one of the sliders. I can't ever get them to go down at the same time. And I feel like I have to arch my wrist funny when I'm doing a cut. So I have a hard time getting a straight cut on this rotary cutter.
Yeah, I can see that. And this one here has that nice angle to it. And that really easy on the fly safety button, which is great.
Very convenient. I think the only thing that this blade really has going for it is that there are less steps to change the blade when you need to replace it. It's very easy. There's just this little lock mechanism in place and you just pull it down and then this gets popped out and that's how you change it. You would just slide that off, put a new one on, put it in, pop, and there you go. It's very fast and easy to change your blade. A few less steps than the other one, but that one's still not very complicated.
And hey, this one's easy too. So the ergonomic cutter, it's great because if you're right or left-handed, you can move the blade to one side or the other side. Because I know there's some left-handed quilters out there, they're cutting on this side, and this space here, you don't want your blade on this side and your ruler on this side. The blade needs to be against the ruler. Now this one has a little screw right here, and I'm just gonna unscrew this. Now there's a little washer spring here, pull that off, and then this drops right off. So very simply, if I wanted to change it to the left-hand side, all I would do is just put it on this side, put the little yellow washer there, the spring, and then screw this back on. So it's also fairly easy to do. And then if you're a left-handed quilter,
it's ready to go.
You see, the blade is now against your ruler on this side. So that's what you need for the most accurate cuts if you're left-handed or right-handed. Of course, on the right hand, you want it on the other side. So it works
very easy.
Great.
So this is definitely something that we could not live without in quilting. It makes your cutting faster, more accurate, and it is easier to manage than trying to cut your pieces out with scissors.
Yes. Number 2 is rulers. Now this was a difficult decision. There are a lot of really useful rulers in quilting.
Yes, and I think it's my favorite tool.
I think so too. Now, we had a conversation about this, and We have a couple that we really, really loved, but we made ourselves just pick one. And the one we both decided on was the 10.5-inch square ruler. It's big enough to cut large square blocks, but it's not so big that it's too clunky and gets in the way with smaller cutting.
So if you're doing like a 6.5-inch square, it's not overwhelming.
Yes. Now this particular one I particularly like because it has your whole inches on this side, so I can orient the ruler if I'm cutting a 6-inch even. Or if I'm cutting a 6.5, I can turn it and use this side. So I really love this one. I think it's super helpful.
Yes.
And this is a staple. I do not want to quilt without it.
Nope. Nope. Gotta have the square.
Oh my goodness. Now, square rulers are the easiest rulers to work with when you're cutting squares or rectangles because you can see right through and there is your fabric underneath it.
Yeah. Now, a close follow-up was the 24-inch long ruler, which is really helpful when you're cutting your long with the fabric strips because it goes all the way along. But it's not very wide. It's not as wide as our 10.5. So it doesn't work as well when you're cutting larger pieces.
The 10.5-inch ruler, it doesn't reach, but there are some things that you can do. So if you can only buy one ruler, let me show you how to cut all the way across. If it were me, I would line it up on my cut. So I'm gonna just kind of line it up on the edge here. This is the trick that I do, is if I start cutting, I'll cut all the way to there and then I'll stop and I do not lift my blade. I leave it planted and putting some pressure on it. Then I shift and I reline it up and then keep going. Now what that does is it's gonna give you a really clean cut there.
And that's a trick that you taught me, and it has really changed the way that I quilt. It has made things much, much easier. And so it made me gravitate towards the squares even more than I already was.
Right, I mean, I cut so many things with this ruler.
Yes, so many
things. So you can always get more rulers later after you've been quilting for a bit and have a better idea of what you like and don't like.
Number 3, iron. An iron is essential to get your seams pressed and your pieces flat. Pressing is very important because without pressing your seams, they won't nest together and you'll end up with a lumpy quilt.
Yes, and we both like an iron that's a little on the heavy side. This means that you don't have to press down so hard and the iron is doing some of the work. I tried a lighter iron. I didn't like it.
Same.
Oh my goodness.
I prefer this.
I really love the heavier iron.
We also like having a nice pointed tip on the iron right here because we both press our seams open. Once you get the tip of the iron on the edge of the seam, you can just run it along there and the seam allowances just naturally fall to the sides, which again means the iron is doing the hard work for you.
Yes. Now, we both like our Rowenta irons. We both have them. They're a little bit on the pricier side for irons, but it is worth every penny.
Yes. Ironing is not the most fun task in quilting, so having a tool that makes it easier is really great.
Agreed. Now, tool number 4 is Mary Ellen's Best Press. This is a must have for both of us. It gives your fabric a nice crisp press, which makes piecing your blocks so much easier. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Best Press is amazing because before I discovered Mary Ellen's, I was using plain old spray starch. And you know what spray starch does whenever you're using it for quilting? Hey, it makes it nice and crispy, but it also leaves all that sticky residue on there. This does not do that.
Nope, leaves your iron nice and clean.
Yes.
It can also work out really difficult wrinkles in your fabrics, which is something I like to use it for. I like to use Mary Ellen's when I'm unfolding my fabric for the first time because you know your fabric has been folded for a while and those lines can be very difficult to get out just with hitting it with the iron or even steam.
And you need them out because they'll interrupt your cutting. You won't get a clean cut with it there.
Yeah, it'll get all wonky. So if you just hit it with a little bit of Best Press before you iron it, those wrinkles come right out.
Oh, it's so nice. If you've never given it a try, we do have it available for purchase on our website, fabriccafe.com. I highly recommend introducing this into your quilting tools.
And our tool number 5, straight pins. Now, there are a lot of different types of pins out there, but some work better than others. And the ones that we have found to work the best are the Clover flathead pins.
I love these pins, and here's the reason we prefer them. They're nice and long, which helps stabilize your fabric and makes them easier to pull out. And they're very sharp, so you can get a precision pin through your seams like you need to. And you're not wrestling with it, and it doesn't leave a big hole. It's not gouging your fabric.
And it's just so much easier to get them to nest together and stay.
Yes.
If you're wrestling, they get off.
The more dull pins can leave holes, which, you know, totally not what we want.
No.
So that nice thin metal that's still strong, super sharp, nice and long, keeps your fabric safe and gets a nice precision pin.
The flat head makes them easy to work with because once you have them pinned in, they just slide against the side of your machine as you're sewing. I have found pins that have a more bulky head or a more decorative one can get cumbersome to work with and kind of get in my way and get
it goes
caught up. Yeah, and get like caught up on stuff. You do want to make sure that you are pulling your pins as you go, though.
Yes.
Do not sew over them for a few reasons. If you sew over your pins, you will dull your sewing machine needle, and you're going to have to change this more often. And it's also a hazard to sew over them. Now, you have a horror story about this, don't you, Fran?
I do, because I was very guilty of sewing over my straight pins as I went. And one day I'm just buzzing along. You know how you get, because you're all in the groove. And lo and behold, my sewing machine needle hit a pin. It broke the tip of my sewing machine needle, and it hit me right here next to my eye and left a big mark. Now, it scared the daylights out of me.
Oh, yeah, it would. It scared me too.
I was like, that went in my eye. Oh, my goodness. So the moral of the story, do not sew over your pins or get safety glasses.
Now, we're going to throw in a sneaky 6th tool, but don't tell anyone. We just felt like we had to mention this last tool because it is so important. The seam ripper.
Now, this tool, you know, we don't have to have it, but it's pretty essential.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes. So it's important to have one of these handy. Now, they get dull over time, though, so you want to replace this once a year. My motto is, give yourself one for your birthday every year. It's the perfect time. Now, this is a Clover seam ripper. There's a couple of things about this that I like. I like that it has a nice big handle on it so I can hang on to it. Now, the most important thing about this seam ripper is this little point right here. This is extra long on the Clover, and also it's extra thin. Some of the less expensive seam rippers, this part is real thick, and I think it's extra hard to get up underneath your stitches. And this one makes it super simple.
I mean, anything to make this task better.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we all want to make a terrible task, you know, even a little less terrible.
Now, seam rippers have a very love-hate relationship in our lives, and many people name their seam ripper. We asked you once what you called your seam ripper, and we got some of the best responses, so we wanted to share some of them with you.
Now, many of you called it Jack for Jack the Ripper, or some variation of that.
Yeah.
Secree said that she calls hers a Saucy Jack because she can get a little saucy while she is ripping seams.
Which I think we can all relate to.
Yes.
Cheryl likes to sing the tune for the song Hit the Road Jack, which, you know, immediately got in my head when...
Yep.
And I think that's a great idea. Singing a little ditty while you're seam ripping actually would help make
Keep
it
your
better.
mood a little lighter while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Now, Prairie Lady calls hers Rosie the Rippeter.
Yeah, like Rosie the Ripper. That is so clever.
Cute. I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. Now, several of you also said that what you call your seam ripper is unprintable, which I have to admit that is where I land. So, I should probably apologize to my seam ripper.
Because, it is kind of a necessary thing. We don't need to hate it too much.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Now, Debbie calls hers a Rippy Skippy. That is so stinking cute.
I know, I love it.
It's just fun to say. It makes you feel a little bit better when you got to pull seam. So, come on, Rippy Skippy.
Let's go. Dr. Blonde Girl has got to have the most positive name I have ever heard for a seam ripper. My bestest friend. That is just such a great outlook to have. And I think I'm going to try to take a page out of her and Debbie's book. And maybe I won't mind seam ripping quite as much.
Now, these are our must-have quilting tools, but there are many more things that make your life easier.
Yes. And if you had to make a list of only 5 quilting tools, what would they be? Let us know in the comments.
And if you would like a more in-depth list of helpful tools and some tips and tricks on how to get started in quilting, then be sure to watch the video that pops up.
Happy quilting!